Zwom. Doot, 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 doot. BMO.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another BMO Creative crypto video. So, this one is about the Sandown Clown. The Sandown Clown, also referred to as Sam the Sandown Ghost Clown, was a being encountered by two young children known as Faye and quote-unquote the boy at Lake Common, Sandown, Isle of Wight, UK in May of 1973. The kids were playing near the river and a small airport when a peculiar wailing sound, said to resemble an ambulance siren, piqued their curiosity. While the children wandered across a footbridge over a stream, they saw a blue three-fingered hand come out from under the bridge and met an unidentifiable being that has been described as a cross between a clown, a robot, and an alien. It was shy but friendly and spoke kindly to the children for almost half an hour before they returned to their parents. It seemingly vanished after the encounter and has never been seen again, or has it? Sandown Clown was described as being around 7 feet tall by the kids, with a large round head and extremely skinny arms and legs. Its skin was very white and looked like it was made of paper, and its hands and feet had only 3 digits. Its face seemed to have been crudely painted onto the surface of its head and consisted of 2 blue triangles for eyes, a flat brown rectangle for a nose, and its mouth had thin yellow lips shaped like an oval, which did not move at all when it spoke or ate. Its hair hung down between its hat and sparse frizzled reddish-brown strands, and 2 wooden antennae stuck out from the sides of its head, while more wooden slat-like antennae extended from its wrists and ankles. It was wearing clothing that to the children looked like some type of clown costume, which consisted of a tall pointed hat with a black knob or bauble on the top of it, and a high-collared suit of red and green to which the hat was at first attached but was later removed by the being to show its white and apparently balding scalp. It wore dark blue gloves and its feet were bare. The suit's trousers had sleeves, and sleeves were long and frilly. Sam the Sandown Clown had a black knobbed microphone with a white flex attached to it, which I think is the same as a cable. Speaking into this stopped the wailing noise. Initially, it used the microphone to communicate with the kids. However, it was found later that it could also speak through speech that was somewhat unclear. It was also carrying a book, which is what it was looking for under the bridge. It had dropped the book in the water and was picking it up. It lived in a 2-story metal hut or shack in a wooded area close to the lake. The walls were papered or decorated, or they actually had blue-green dials on them, and the floors were metallic. The hut had contained a rough wooden set of furniture as well, described as being similar to that of a table and set of chairs. The being told the children it was frightened of people and would not defend itself if it was attacked. It claimed to drink water from the stream, after cleaning it of course, and gathered wild berries which it ate in a very odd manner, by thrusting them into its ear and then leaning its head forward till the berry was in its eye, and then moving side to side until the berry showed up in its mouth, and then the berry would disappear. It could write in English using a pencil and paper. Upon being asked, it wrote on the pad in odd order and then pointed at the words individually. I am all color Sam. When asked if it was a man, it said it was not. When asked if it was a ghost, it answered, well, not really, but I am in an odd sort of way, though. All other questions about what it might be were answered solely with, well, you know. After a time of talking to the clown, the children bid it goodbye and went back to their parents. There are detailed versions of this, and I will get to those here in a minute. I'll describe those to you so that you can go find them and you can read more of what it said to the kids. So maybe better understand why I think it is what I think it is. Anyway, there are several explanations for what the being could have been. Theories include a human wearing a costume, a fairy, a ghost, or other type of paranormal or supernatural creature, a robot, an extraterrestrial, a hoax, or shared hallucination. The creature could have also been completely made up by the kids who saw it. I have done some research of my own, and based on what I must say, it could have been any of those or none of them. The primary preservation of this narrative was through a 1978 BUFORA, which is British UFO Research Association report, first recorded after interviewing the two kids. No spacecraft or terrestrial vehicle was observed at the time of the incident, and only the children saw and spoke to the being, even though the girl did say there were some people working on a post or a power pole nearby. The report to BUFORA came from Mr. Y, as far as I can tell, which is the father of the girl that saw the creature. And he wished to remain anonymous. The report was called Target Faye, as the report referred to the child's name, who told her father about the encounter, leading him to report it to BUFORA. So that's how they got the actual information. The children were insistent that this encounter really happened, and some people are now saying the girl Faye claims to have seen the clown on other occasions after this. Paranormal researchers Jenny Randles, Albert Rosales, and Janet and Colin Board wrote about the Sandown Clown in several books. None of them, I've read those, but none of them ever stated definitively any theory on what the being may have been. The blog History Disclosure has the most complete recounting of the encounter published to date that I could find. And based on that, as well as all the other information that I found, I hate to say this, but I have to say it. I think the clown and the people working on the power pole were a hazmat science team, probably worked for the airport, that were studying something radioactive right there by the airport in that creek or river near that bridge. The clown sounds like it was wearing a Kim suit and using a Geiger counter, which made the siren noises probably. I think that the person wearing the Kim suit was female, which is why when it was asked, "Are you a man?" it's kind of chuckled and said no. Why are you a ghost? Well, kinda sorta, because I'm not allowed to tell people what I'm out here doing, so in a way she is kind of a ghost. And the reason why those other people didn't seem to react to the Sandown Clown is because they also work for the airport and they're just out there fixing power lines or something that had come down. She probably offered the kids blueberries or actual pills of potassium iodide. Sometimes back in the 70s, berries were also injected with potassium iodide on sites like this to be eaten to help counter any radioactive feeling nauseous or anything like that if there was some sort of chemical in that water out there that the airport was leaking or something. The building sounds like it was a temporary chem lab. Radioactive proof probably, of course. And she could have quizzed the kids to make sure that they were okay overall before sending them off back to their parents. And as far as the three-fingered gloves, I found, like, especially back in the 70s in the UK, people that wore Kim suits wore gloves that look like this. So there you go. Overall, that's what I think she probably saw, and the little boy too, and it was just scary to them because they had never seen anyone like this. Anyway, what do you think of the Sandown Clown? Leave a comment below. So, that is going to do it for this one. Thanks so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe to BMO Creative for more crypto videos. Thanks so much. Bye.